Hello, everyone. I'm just trying to present. I think I'm on. Yeah, I'm on now. So I know a lot of you are going to be coming into the room and you might be like, what is human design? Or you might know human design. So I'm going to explain all the things that you need to know. I'm going to explain how this can really help you and how this can shift your life so that you are living a life for you and not the life that you think you should. So I'm so intrigued and I'm really excited to hear if any of you know human design at all. But for the moment, I am going to share this presentation. So first of all, I know there's going to be people from here all over the world. I am from the UK, but I am currently living in Bali. And I know we are streaming in America, Australia, all over the shop. So I wanted to introduce myself a little bit. So my name is Imogen Joyce, AKA on Instagram, I am the Imogen Method. And I am a human design reader, a coach, a spiritual entrepreneur, and just all the things in between. And I'm here to really, really share the vision and the wisdom of human design and bring you back to the light that you are. There is so much light within you, and there is so many gifts and skills that you have in this lifetime that the rest of the world needs you to share and wants you to share. So I am here to turn that light back onto you and switch it on so that you feel liberated and excited to live the life for you. So for those of you who don't know, what is human design? So human design is a wisdom that brings together different modalities and wisdoms of ancient times. So it has in it astrology, which is obviously all about the planets. It has in it the Chinese I Ching. It has in it the chakra system and the Kabbalah tree of life. Now, all of those were these ancient wisdoms that we used to understand ourselves a lot better, to understand our energetics, understand how we work. And human design bridges them all together and shows us that every single one of us is different. Every single one of us is unique. And if you imagine wherever you are in the world right now, you have your body, right? And then around your body is this 3-foot aura. And in your aura, that is how we communicate. That is how our world works. That's how we're exchanging energy with one another. And human design is the science of our aura, and it's also the science of how we're different. So this little picture I have on the screen is a little bit like a glimpse of what a chart will look like. And every single one of you watching this, every single one of your family members are going to have a different chart. Now, if you just think about that, we all have a different chart. And in that chart, shows us our purpose, our skill set, how our energy works. It shows us our emotional body, and we're all different. Yet we live in a world that tells us we're all the same. So this is why I love it so much, because I get to tell so many souls on a daily basis their unique blueprint, their unique energy, their unique wisdom, and how they are so different and so needed. So the world tells us that it's one size fits all. We're all here to go on the same journey. And this is the opposite. This is the difference. So I wanted to write this in case any of you didn't know about a chart or haven't found your chart yet. So these are just some of the websites that you can go on and find your chart. My Bodygraft is where the guy who founded it put it all on, and Jovian Archive. So you can pick any one of these, and equally just write into Google human design chart and it will come up with, it's all free, so you can get your chart. And what you need for that is your date of birth and the location that you were born, and also the time that you were born. And I know this is going to be so hard for some people. I had to really, really dig deep for this. My parents told me a time, and I had a reading on this time. I studied human design in this time, and then I found an actual little birth slip from when I was born, and it was a different time. So I know it can be really hard. We're lucky in the modern day times that we know things like that. But if you're a little bit older, like I'm nearly 30, so that was a little bit of a struggle for me. But what I will say in this is get it as exact as you can. I do a lot of readings and people say 1 p.m. or 9 a.m. And it's very rare that your parent actually managed to give birth exactly on the hour. So see if you can find any specifics. Some things really don't change, but then some really small things that are more in depth in the chart might alter a little bit. So that's just a little preface, and go and you can find your chart. So starting off with the energy type, this is where you begin with human design. And if you think about astrology, it's a little bit like, what is your sun sign? So depending on how much you like astrology, you're going to say, what is your sun sign? And then you're going to go, okay, what's my moon? What's my rising? What's my ascendant? What's my north node? And you can get deeper and deeper and deeper. And then all of a sudden you have a map for your whole life, right? So we start with the energy type in human design, and I'm going to go into each of them. And your energy type is how your system works. So like the chakra system, if anyone knows all the chakras, you have these 7 chakras running down your body, and that's your energy system. They each have their own brain and circulation, and they each have their own skill set. And this is effectively your unique energy language and system given a direction and an understanding. And I'm going to get into all of them. So it gives you a deeper understanding of your skill set and the things that work for you. We all work differently. And this is the thing that will tell you, okay, this is how you work. This is why this thing to you feels really frustrating and feels really hard. And this is why this thing actually feels quite easy and effortless. But then the person next to you, they're different and they have different frustrations, pushes, and different things that are easy, right? And it's a real understanding that you are not like anyone else. We work differently. And we were made to be that different way. We were made to be unique, but the way society runs tells us that we all need to be the same. Even things like the way school is run, the times that school is. So we go to school, depending on where you are in the world. If it's high school, college, you go to university, you get a job. And it's just like everyone's life is mapped out in that same way. And the same as you get up at 7 a.m., 9 a.m., you finish work at 5 p.m., you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at certain times. Our energy body is all different. Some people, it's best for them to eat later on in the day. Some people, it's best for them to eat just when the sun's up. So can you see, just as a glimpse of how we're all so unique and different? It also tells you in the chart whether routine is good for you, whether consistency is good for you, or whether maybe you think your life that you've been lazy or you find it hard to stick with things, but maybe you're meant to be that way. Maybe it's that your energy works being inconsistent. Your energy works changing it up a little, being more in flow. All of these differences that have been, in essence, shamed in the world because there is this one way to do everything, means that there's so many of us that feel like we don't fit in. And we feel like, I can't do it that way, so there must be something wrong with me. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. There is nothing wrong with you. And the way that feels right for you to do something is the way it is. Now, for example, I'm going to use fitness just because it's an easy example to use. So say that you wanted to do maybe a fitness challenge or join a gym for a month, and you had consistent energy. And it felt really good to you to do it at the same time every day. You're going, you're like, yes, I've got this. Society tells me this is a really good thing to do, so I must be a really high achiever. And then someone else who has inconsistent energy joins up for something for a month. It could be working out, it could be any other thing, right? I'm just using this as an example. And then you feel like you fall short. You feel like you go for 5 days and the 6th day is the biggest struggle. Your energy is drained and you're like, why doesn't this work for me? Society tells me this is the way it should work. So what is wrong with me? And there isn't. There isn't anything wrong with you. It's just finding how to be inconsistent and how to have fun with that. Maybe using exercise, you do a HIIT workout and then you do Pilates and then you do a walk. Your body is going to absolutely liberate off that energy because that is how your energy works. So human design is the biggest permission slip to be you and do it all your way. Now, this is a little introduction to the energy types, right? So just like I said, it would be saying is the same as starting with your astrology, your sun sign. Okay. So some of you might know what you are. If you don't, I don't know if you can do this on the side, but you can get your chart now, or you can just look after. Also feel like if any of these resonate with you, because if you don't know about it and you haven't heard about it, it's going to be like, what the hell? But there's something in your soul, there's something in your intuition that's like, I feel like that's me. I'm going to know that's me. So these are just the 5 different energy types. So starting with generators, these are in no order whatsoever. There are different amounts of these. So with generators, there's about, I think it's about 60% of the population are generators. And generators are here, and you have this life force energy. You are the beings that are here to give the rest of the world energy. When you are doing something that you love and doing something that really lights you up, you feed energy to the rest of the world, and they feel inspired by you. They want to know what you're up to, and you are this just life force. Imagine an actual generator machine. So you are here to really master the thing that you love. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit of light and shade in this as well, just to help you with alignment. There is no right, wrong, good, bad in human design. It all just is. But this is like alignment, misalignment. For a generator, when you're doing what you love, you're so lit up, and you could do it for hours and you could share about it. You always want to speak about it. But when you're doing something that you don't love to do, it's going to drain your energy. And you have this big life force energy. You're here to be this sparkly, juicy person. But when you're not following something that feels so good to you, it's going to drain you. And the draining of your energy is a sign. It's a GPS system, a sat-nav system, whatever you call it, wherever you are in the world. It's telling you, no, this road isn't for you. Go down the other road where you feel good. If you feel resistant, stuck, drained, it isn't for you. So turn back around. All of this is a guide. So if you are a generator, it's so important to follow what really lights me up. What am I paying attention to? Am I just doing the things because I feel like I should? Okay. Manifestors. You are here. Manifestors is about 11% of the population. And they were back in the day when it was very much about kings and queens, leaders. These were the manifestors because they were the ones that could initiate. Manifestors are the trailblazers. They are the ones that start something. So if maybe there's someone on Instagram or a friend or a family member or someone in your business, they are the ones that start things. They have this idea and they have this urge, and then they're like, I want to go do this, right? I want to go and lead. I want to start this revolution. I want to go. And then for manifestors, because you have this energy within you, you have these urges where you want to go and do something, but you are doing things before other people, before the rest of the world. So your life might have been trying to fit in and playing small because you wanted to be the same as the people around you, whereas you were here to lead and be different. So your shade and light is really finding what feels good to me to do. What urge have I got inside me that I want to go start, that I want to go do something new, or I have this idea of a way the world gets to work. I want to go do that, right? Where are you holding yourself back in order to fit in? Now, manifesting generators are like a hybrid of the two. They are completely their own design, but they have similar energetic makeup to generators and manifestors. So with manifesting generators, I just see all of you as the rebels, and I love doing this. All the readings I love to do. But every time I tell a manifesting generator, you're a rebel, you're meant to go against the way society tries to fit us in, they're like, oh, thank God, because I've always wanted to do that. So you are here as the rebels, and you have this multi-passionate, multi-purpose way of being. So the world tells us that from the age of 17, we're meant to know what job we want to do for the rest of our life. And we just stick to that one job, and that's what we do. Whereas you are here to tell us that life gets to be non-linear. You get to adapt and shift and change and have multi-purposes. And I always invite manifesting generators to not just think about a job, not just think about what's going to make me money. Think about the hobbies that you love to do. Maybe that you really love to be creative, or maybe you really love to make some flower arrangements. Do all of the hobbies that you love to do and prioritize each of them, because it isn't down to you. And this is for everyone. It isn't down to us what makes us money. It's down to us to follow what feels so right inside, and that be the thing that makes us money. Because this is how the universe works. This is how it gets to work when you follow that alignment. So you are here to show us that life gets to be non-linear, and there is no box that you can fit into. So with manifesting generators, I invite you into thinking, what label am I sticking on myself? What am I trying to do because I feel like it's the right thing to do? How can I express all the things I love in all the different ways? You have such a big engine, and it's so important that you go and do all of those passions, because all of that is your wisdom, and you're really here to teach us this non-linear way of being. Then we have projectors, and projectors are around 20% of the population. And projectors, you are here as the visionaries. You are here to guide us into an expansive vision. So the way I see projectors is like you are the birds in the trees. You have this bird's eye view vision. You get to see the world in a different way than the rest of us. It really is your skill set. Now, projectors have been conditioned that you have to be in the hustle of the real world. You have to be down on the ground, hustling, working, pushing, forcing, joining the 5 a.m. club, not going to sleep until you're done. You ticked it all off your list. That just isn't the case. I mean, that isn't the case for anyone, but particularly for you projectors, because you are here as more of a visionary and a higher viewpoint. And what that means is that it isn't your job to do all the do. It's your job to oversee. Right? You have this real vision of the way the world gets to work. You are the people that can show us an efficient way of being, a guide to explain to us what is a better way to get this done. Right? And a lot of projectors are being burnt out in society these days because you're like trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to do all the things where you're losing your vision. You're missing the importance of your vision and your ability to guide because you're trying to do and hustle. So projectors is so important that you rest. You have time away, so that when you have time away from all the energy of the outside world, you get to sink into what is your vision. Sink into what is your way that you see the world. What is that vision that just feels so clear to you that you get to lead the rest of us into? And then we have reflectors, which are the rarest type of all, and they are just 1% of the population. Now, if you remember at the beginning, I showed you a kind of a chart. It was just completely open chart. It had the circle around it, had all the different shapes in it. That is your body of your energy centers. And with reflectors, yours are completely open. If you ever see a chart, you'll see that there's some color in there, whereas reflectors are completely white, which means you are taking in every different hub of energy from the world around you. Reflectors are here to show the rest of us collectively how we are being. Something I feel like so magical about reflectors is that the first 4 types, we are all sun beings. So we go in cycles of the sun, which is 365 days, whereas reflectors go in cycles of the moon. So what we experience in a year, these lunar beings experience in a month. So they're just such chameleons, changing and evolving with the world. And your role here is to reflect back to us how we are being collectively. So how we are being in the sense of our awakening, of our personal development, of our growth within ourselves and within a society. So reflectors, you are taking on so much energy from the world around you. You are the type of people that are going to walk into a room and feel really lit up and like, wow, my God, I love it in here. Or you're going to feel, oh, there's something feels off. Something feels off. And this is permission for you to leave. Your environment is so, so important because you're taking in so much. And you're really here to teach us about how we're being. Teach us about what is going on in the world right now. Teach us to what are all these personal development things? What are the way we can really grow from inside? And it's so important that you have time by yourself. Energetic clear out for all the designs is really, really important, but particularly for reflectors, because you're just taking everything on. You're taking on people's emotions, people's fears, people's mindset. So when you get that space to go clear that energy, that's going to really, really serve you. So this is just an insight to the energy types. And again, this is just where we start. And I gave you different percentages of what they are, but this is just the beginning. But can you see how all of these are different? All of these are different. All of these have different ways to fit into society. All of these don't follow this structure that we're told we must follow. And there's, when you go into a chart so much deeper, it can tell you what is all the different ways we follow. So why is this all important? Why am I here today? Why is this important? Why am I sharing human design? And it's because I want you to even just get a glimpse, a tiny slither of how unique you are. How, if something isn't working for you in life or hasn't happened for you yet, it's because you haven't been following your way. And no one else can tell you what your way is. You have a unique energetic signature. Now, we know that we are all energy here. Yes, we are a physical being, you can touch us, but that is because our atoms and all this energy within us are grouped together so tight. But if you get a microscope and look so close, we're all energy. And our system is made up of energy. And this is how our energy works uniquely. So your purpose here isn't what you think it has to be. It's what you dream it to be. And a word that I love in human design that isn't banned, but it's like, we're not going to use this word, is, and I've added more to these as I've gone on to teach human design, is words like should, words like need, words like have to. Those words, when you put them in a sentence, oh, I should do this work. I should do this job. I should go and see that friend. I should do this for my family. All of those words is you pushing and forcing things that you might not want to do. So I ask yourself in your day-to-day life, what are you doing because you feel like you have to? And the world has told you this is the way to do a certain thing, even with, and I'm hugely in the personal development world, hugely. And I know the happiness planner does so much for us, right? But this is about your way of doing it. Maybe it's correct for you to wake up at 10 a.m. and not join the 5 a.m. club. Maybe you go to bed later. Maybe it's right for you to eat dinner later on. I know for me, so there's something in human design, which is your digestion, which is all about how your system actually wants to take on food. And mine is actually when the sun goes down. And I know that sounds crazy because it's like, okay, how do I have energy in the day? How do I eat in the day? But I just start my day off slower and later. I drink more smoothies in the day. I have more juices in the day. I still can eat, but it's just my system wants the biggest meal in the evening. Now, I didn't know this. I was in the 5 a.m. club. I was in all of those clubs where I got up so early and did all these morning routines. And that just isn't how my system works. So this is an invitation to you to go inside. Look inside. Where am I forcing myself to be a certain way and to do a certain thing that I feel like I should do or that I need to do in order to have some kind of validation from the outside world? This is an invitation to get the validation from within, get that love and appreciation, and you're doing an amazing job from within, from your own self. So this is the guy who founded human design. His name was Ra'u Rahu. And this is just one of his many, many quotes that I picked. The real growth is being more of yourself, right? How much are you trying to be like others, trying to fit in with everyone else when we need you to be you? Imagine this whole earth, right, as a puzzle. It's a massive puzzle. And if some of you have got kids here, you know how crazy it is when you have all these puzzle pieces and you're trying to find the right piece to fit in the right spot. If you are trying to be, imagine we're all puzzle pieces. If you are trying to be a piece that fits in the puzzle up here, but your spot is down here, your spot fits in perfectly there, but you're trying to be over the other side and you're trying to fit in and squeeze into that spot, then what happens to this whole part of the puzzle? It can't be complete. The other pieces can't get what they need from it. You can't fit into it as easily, as effortlessly as it's meant for you. We are all an individual piece of the puzzle. And not only is it important that we be the piece for us, but society and the rest of the world needs us to be that piece so that we can give the skills that we have. We can bring the energy that we have to others, not only to ourselves. So, how can this change your life? How can this shift everything for you? So you stop following someone else's path and you get confident and you get clear and you get sure on what your path is. I'm going to get into how human design can equally help you do that. So this is something that was huge for me as well, but different energy exchanges work differently. So maybe you're in a relationship with someone or even a friendship, any kind of relationship, or even with your work colleagues, right? And because you communicate in one way, you express your opinion in one way, you then think that everyone else should do it that way. But we work differently. So your ways to communicate isn't the same as someone else's. Your way to express your emotions and be in your emotions isn't the same as everyone else's. So when we know each other's, we not only know ourselves, but when we know each other's, we get to see that we all are different. And this is a permission that just because it's my way doesn't mean it's your way. Let me find out what your way is so I can serve you better, so that we can match better. And I do so many children readings as well, which I absolutely love doing children readings, because then right now where we are, yes, we are embodying our human design and we are learning about our uniqueness, but that comes with a work of deconditioning. Deconditioning is to undo in our mind all the ways that we think we should be, the identities that we think we should have, right? It's undoing all of that so that we get to be our way. Now, when we do human design readings for children, they have less of that conditioning to do. They have less of that mind work to undo so that they can be themselves, so that they can find their purpose and live out in their passion and be fully expressed in that. So imagine knowing all of your families as well. You have a roadmap to your purpose. You have an understanding of how you work. There's no more doing what you think you should or what you feel like you have to fit in. And I know, like, I'm so passionate about this. And if you can't tell already, I'm a generator. So I am giving all my energy here because I love it so much. And I know part of this, you might be like, is this really real? Is this really surely this can't be this magical as I'm making it out to be. So don't take my word for it. Don't take anything I've said here. Just try it out for yourself. Try it out. When I learned about human design, I was like, okay, if this is all so true, I'm going to try it. And I'm going to get into later on, different elements of ways to understand your purpose and path. And I just thought, I'm just going to give it a go. What have I got to lose? And everything just fell into place. Everything felt so much easier. I didn't have this constant pressure on myself to need to be good enough in a good enough sense that society told me was good enough. I got to choose my own good enough. I got to choose my own and be my own validation. And for me, that is absolute inner freedom, right? Imagine understanding you this way. Firstly, you understand you this way. And then imagine understanding the people around you, your family, your friends, your loved ones, how much we would all seamlessly work together, understanding all of our different nuances. So as I said before, your energy type is starting with like your sun sign, and then you can go a little bit deeper. And I'm just going to give you a little glimpse of where else this can help you and guide you in your life. So your unique energy exchange in human design is known as a strategy. So some of you might be familiar with the human design language. And this is really how the universe is guiding you. And none of us are here to have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, even a 1-year plan. Because all of those plans are conditioning to what society tells us our life should look like, right? And I hope that gives you some freedom. Your role here, and there's different strategies in it, right? There's different ways that you communicate with the universe, but your role here is to be guided, is to be shown your path and not force it, not push it, and not get lost down a road because you feel like you should be down that road. And you felt like this is what you wanted. And then you get there and you're like, why am I so unfulfilled? It's because someone else told you you wanted it. Someone else told you that that's what your 5-year plan should look like, right? And I was the gal that did the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan. I did my monthly plan. I run my own business. I did all these quarterly plans, and it felt like I was in a cage for a start. And when I let go of all of that, I cannot even tell you the difference it's made and how much further I've got, because I allowed life to lead me. Right? So this strategy and this energy exchange, it's the insight that tells you whether something is wrong or right for you. It is that energetic niggle that's like, why is this tough? Like, why am I resisting? It isn't always, I am a mindset coach as well. So I'm well aware of all the mindset blocks that we get, but it isn't always self-sabotage. It isn't always procrastination. A lot of the time it's your soul. Like, this isn't the way for you. This isn't your way. Why did you do this way in the first place? Because you saw it somewhere else, right? How about feeling if this is right for me? And we all have an intuition, but we haven't been shown how to use it and hear it. And this is a journey of hearing those nudges and hearing that intuition. So those guide you. This is also a way, your energy exchange, your strategy, to show you if your ego is the one that is running the show, if your ego is the one that is in the driver's seat. And our ego isn't always this bad, horrible thing. It's just our fear, and it's just our inner child. But our inner child and our fear has programming around what it thinks it should do. Our inner child and fear is going to try and project on the outside world to receive love, to receive validation. So it's going to form your actions in that way. Now, like I said earlier, if you turn all that inwards, and if you find all of that love, that validation with inwards, then the ego is less likely to be running the show. So living by your strategy, living by your energy type, is trusting your divine path. Now, for a second, I want you to look back at something in your life that you didn't control, something that just happened. And it was like, how did that happen? How did I meet that person there? How did I meet that person that connected to me to this job? How did that happen where I just booked that holiday and then that thing happened there? All of those things are your divine path. And we get in the way because we need the validation. We need the success. When all of that is inevitable. All of that is inevitable when you follow your piece of the puzzle. Because going even deeper into this, it shows you all your gifts that you have here. It shows you if you are really good at, for example, building a community. It shows you your best way to communicate. It shows you if you are really good at certain skill sets that you need for jobs. Maybe it's efficiency, right? So when you get all of that understanding, you realize that you don't need to force the future into some way. You get to follow life unfolding for you. And again, permission to just try it out. Try it on for size and see how it fits. So this is as well something else. So your unique intuition, which in human design, if anyone knows the language, it's known as authority. So we all have a different way to make decisions and a different way to communicate our decisions with each other. They are all a body of differences, right? Again, we're not all meant to be the same. So this is how decisions form for you, your best way to make decisions. It is the thing guiding you to whether you are on your soul path or not. And for some of us, we haven't used our intuition. We haven't been taught how. So it might start off as a really, really quiet voice. It might start off really small, but then we get to go on the journey of listening, of hearing it, of taking an energetic step back. Not a literal step back, because there's still more action to be taken, but that energetic step back that's like, I don't need to worry about what's next. I don't need to worry about my next decision, because there's something in me that knows. There's a knowing in this. And I know each of you would have experienced this already. You would have experienced a time when you're like, I don't know why I know, I just know. I just know that this is the decision I need to make. And what another thing around all the millions other that I love about human design is that the mind is never, ever an authority, never a decision maker. Never. It's all within the energy centers in our body. Each of us is different. Each of us has a different energy center that is our leader. Our mind is never the decision maker. So when something is coming from the mind, it's when you are trying to make sense of the decision, when you are trying to make the decision seem logical, like this is the logical next step to take because of X, Y, Z. That is conditioning. That is a safety net. The world has told you it can work like this if you follow it this way. Whereas you get to take off that jacket. For me, that feels so heavy, feels like I'm wearing a weight, that you get to take that off. And your decisions and your knowing get to come from within. And you get to go on a journey of hearing that, of really listening, because only you know what is right for you. Only you know what is next for you. And it's the invitation and all of that. So this is how I see the world these days, right? So we are on this soul path. We're on a soul path here. We all have this soul. We all have this knowing. And we are here having a human experience, right? So how do we mix the two? It's our human design. Our human design is how we live a soul path in a human experience. And it is your blueprint. It is your map of how to do that. So why is this important for your overall wellness? I know that the happiness planner does so much for all of our wellness. Even doing all these workshops for us, the planner itself, the events they hold, is really shaping us into our wellness journey. So how can this help, right? Imagine all the energy you spent, all this pushing, this energy, this need, these shoulds, you spent living a life that you feel like you should. Living a life that society told you you should. Imagine for a second, you let go of all that energy. You let go of all that push, that need for validation, and you turned it all inwards. You turned it all back onto you, and you started living the life that you really wanted to. I know each of you watching this, if I asked you to get so scarily truthful about what you really want in life, what you really want to do, there would be an inkling of an answer in there. So this is why it is important. This is your energetic, this is your energetic makeup, your energetic signature. So if you're using your energy in a way that doesn't serve you, then life is not going to serve you. Relationships aren't going to serve you. Your food isn't going to serve you. Your job isn't going to serve you. But when you turn it all back onto you, and you realize what serves me, what is right for me, then you get to live in that embodied energetic freedom. Now, that was a lot. So where do you even start? Where do you even start? Well, there is no right way. I'm not here to tell you the way that works for you. I have given you all of this, what is in here, just a little inkling of what you can get in a chart. But an amazing thing happens when you turn the light on back in yourself. and you begin to radically trust yourself. Something amazing happens. And I just want you to try it out. I invite you to lean in. So thank you so much for being here, for watching. Yeah, just thank you. I'm going to stop my share now.